I'm Ron Klopfanstein at Fort St. in Rome, where pro-democracy protesters have gathered for a No Kings rally against the Trump administration. I'm with Lindsay. Lindsay, you brought your whole family to this event.
Yes.
Why is this a family thing?
I think it's important to get everybody involved when they're young. That way, as everybody gets older, they understand how important having a democracy actually is.
Now, when you speak to your children about current events and like national issues and stuff like this, what do you say? How do you explain it to them?
I try to explain it as honestly as possible, but in a level that would make sense to them.
How do you do that? Because I'm wondering, like, if somebody could explain it to me in a way that makes sense to me, as someone who, especially standing here at Fort Stanwix, having grown up with this whole ethos of 1776 and the Constitution,
Yeah.
and to see, like, in 2024, or 2025, it starts to come apart.
Yeah.
It's too hard for me to wrap my head around. How do you do that, and how do you explain that to your kids?
I try to break it down into stuff that they already understand. So, for example, like a superhero type thing. Mm-hmm. The superhero does the work to keep everybody else safe.
Yeah.
So the people in Congress are supposed to do the work to keep everybody in the United States safe.
Right. So you're here to get them to do their job?
Absolutely.
And who are your kids?
This is Rosalind.
Hey, Rosalind, how are you? You have saved the trees. Is that an issue that's important to you? The environment, saving the trees?
Yes.
Yes. So, did you make the sign yourself?
Mom just outlined the words with
But you
with
colored
pen.
it in. You colored it in, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I like your colors too. I like the green for the tree, and I like that you have a cross with a bulldozer because you're on the side of the trees, right?
Yes.
Good job. And you have Dump Trump, sort of a starlit imagery here with a fire, cool picture here. Were you involved in making the sign? Mm-hmm. And what did you do to make the sign?
Well, Trump is the end, and he's obviously on fire.
And what's your other side here?
It's no kings.
No Kings. And did you draw that?
Yeah.
Good job. So why are you here today?
Because Trump's an idiot. Yeah.
What do you want for your future? As an American, you're going to grow up. When you grow up, what do you want the country to be like?
Trump in jail, no more bad stuff happening, that kind of stuff.
What kind of good stuff would you like to have happen?
Like people getting their rights back, and like no more like scary people and stuff, that kind of
I like that.
And that's Russell.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Russell,
of course.
thanks. I'm with Mike. Mike, you're the media coordinator for this event.
That's correct.
What is this event, and what is it for?
Well, this is an opportunity for all these people to show their dissatisfaction with the way our government is going right now. Dissatisfaction with ICE, dissatisfaction with ejecting the immigrants, with spending money on things that don't include health care. It's a chance for the people to really speak up and show their feelings.
As media person for the event, you've obviously been out there talking about this and covering this. What are some of the misperceptions that people have about what's happening here today?
Well, the biggest misperception is it's not a Hate America rally.
What is it?
It's everybody here loves the country. They're here because they love the country. And when you hear the Republicans saying it's a Hate America rally, that's just couldn't be further from the truth.
I know it's hard to speculate, but why do you think that Republicans are trying to push that narrative?
I think because they're scared of the opposition. They're scared that the actions that they're doing are starting to cause so many people to see it from our perspective and not theirs.
But I'm wondering too, do you really think they have a reason to be concerned when, Trump controls the White House, the Republicans control the Congress, the Supreme Court is very Republican conservative dominated. It seems like they really can do whatever they want to the American people in an abusive way without us doing anything about it. So what do we do?
They have to stay within the law. The courts may be biased for them, but they have to stay within the law. And if they don't, they'll pay the price later on. Nixon didn't go to prison, but many of his cabinet did.
Yeah.
So the law will catch up with them eventually. And eventually the pendulum will swing in politics and another side will get in there. And hopefully we can bring some normalcy.
Remember
that
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm here with Liz, and Liz, you are wrapped in the American flag. Now, there's some people who are saying that coming here was actually anti-American. What do you say to that?
I say that I have been voting since I was able to, and my ancestors, the women in my ancestry, told me, don't forget to vote. Women didn't get their vote till late. So I am a registered nurse, and I've been fighting for good health care for our country and the people that live here my entire career. And I don't want to see that go away. In fact, let's improve it. Let's improve it. We have women and children and men and families that have deficient food, clothing, and shelter. And some people are worried about which bathroom we use, or, it makes me crazy. Anyway, I'm just here to be the voice for the rest of the Americans that couldn't show up.
If your grandmother, your great-grandmothers were here today, what do you think they would say?
I think my grandma Marion would be right here with me.
Why?
She was a suffragette. She was one of those. She was one of those, and went all through, she went through all of that. She lost sisters in the pandemic that happened in 1918. I mean, she lived through what we recently have lived through. The people that are here lived through it, and I just think America is for Americans. It's not for the National Park Service to put a ballroom in or anything like that. I'm a big Park Service proponent. We have beautiful things in our country and a lot of talent, and thank God for smart people, and a lot of them live here, and we're very talented, and we should optimize that.
What message do you think your great-grandmother would have today if I were interviewing her? She was a suffragette. She lived through a pandemic. She instilled in her children patriotism and the desire to fight for rights. If she were here today, and if I were interviewing her, what do you think she would say? If I were to ask her, why are you here right now protesting against the Trump administration?
She would be here for America and our cause. We came to this country hundreds of years ago to get away from somebody that ruled us and told us what religion to have and let them eat cake. What kind of crap is that? You know what?
It's like golden ballroom talk, you know?
It is golden ballroom talk.
Yeah. Well, people are starving.
Yeah. In our own communities.
Food costs twice as much as it used to.
In our own communities. I have recently gotten together with local farmers, and I try to buy from them because I know that they are having trouble too. You know, I have a lady that I get my eggs from, and somebody I get my squash and my baked goods and my canned goods from.
Do you think that maybe like one thing that might come out of this bad time is that people will have a greater sense of their need to be part of community, to be civic themselves? Is that a possibility, like maybe one good thing to come out of this bad time?
Well, here we are. Here we are. There's a chicken over there. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to democracy.
John, what is the official count? How many people are here today at Fort Stanwix for the No Kings protest?
I've gone through and counted numerous times, about 2,800 people.
2,800 people. Yes. That's a lot for this area,
yes.
Right?
Oh yeah, it's the last No Kings rally that I counted at, we had about 1,250.
So it's more than double?
More than double.
So what does that tell you?
It tells me that this movement is really picking up and people are paying attention to what's going on nationally and are concerned, rightfully so. And I think this is just showing that to everyone else out there.
In your experience talking to people at events like this, maybe you've encountered counter-protesters, do you think that overall more people are starting to turn against Trump, be fed up with like all the high prices, the terror on the streets with ICE, and is there a change?
Yeah, I think this definitely is a change. I think people are more willing to come out. I think people have always been somewhat against him, from not agreeing particularly with his policies. They may not like, quote unquote, the other side, but they're starting to see, oh yeah, here's what's really going on, and it's brought it out to the fore.
I think one of the paradoxes that we have too is like a lot of people were turned off by him since 2016 by the crudeness and the gross sexual nature and kind of just the greed of what he stood for.
Right.
And people, I felt, were afraid even then to speak out against him when he just simply represented really greed and crudeness and stuff. Now people have articulated real reasons to be afraid because he's using his ICE people to using ICE thugs to kidnap people off the streets and send them to other countries.
Right.
Now that people have probably an actual reason to be afraid,
yes.
Do you find that more people now are actually speaking out because they're pissed off that they're being made to be afraid in the United States?
Yeah, and I think what's happened has been a little bit of a sea change from when he first took office, where people were afraid, but were afraid to speak out.
Right.
Now it's gotten to the point where they've said, we can't stand by on the sidelines. And I think that's what you see here.
Right. Why are they saying that? What will happen if people do continue to stand back on the sidelines and allow the Trump administration to continue what they're trying to do and allow the Republicans to let Trump do what he wants to do without stopping it? What will happen? What is the future?
Our democracy's on the line. I mean, it's pure and simple. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you're not talking about there's going to be a couple of people taken away and everything. This is our democracy that's being eroded day by day by day. And I think that's the big thing that people are starting to come to the realization.
I'm here with Carrie, and Carrie, your sign says, "No kings, don't fear your neighbor, fear the system spreading hate, spread love." So what are you talking about? What's spreading hate?
I'm saying that our government is putting out rules and fear throughout America where you're scared of your neighbor or of an immigrant or of anybody hurting you or taking money from you, when the real fear should be that the government is putting those rules on you. I feel like the basic American, really, we care about each other. You want to see your neighbor do well. And the government is putting out this idea that you can't do well if you're helping your neighbor. But that's what I was always taught growing up, that if you help your neighbor, the system in the world is a better place. And I think we should spread that more than instead of being scared of each other.
Are you feeling fear?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Because as a woman, you have to worry about your basic rights as a female now. I have family members and friends that are gay or of different, sexual orientation that
really
I fear for their rights.
Us, yeah.
They have families. And for my nieces and nephews, I don't want them to grow up in a world where hatred is a normal thing. I love those kids. And you should love everybody's kids. You should want them to do well.
Even people that are from other countries or people that have different color skin.
Well, yeah, I don't think that should ever be something that crosses your mind. Why would the color of somebody's skin depend on their worth as a human being? And I'm not scared of anybody with any color of skin. I'm scared of people that are telling me to dislike somebody because of their sexual orientation, their gender, or the color of their skin. That's more fearful to me than giving some money to a single mother or anybody that needs help.
Where are you guys all from?
I'm from Oneida,
Casanova,
Erieville, Oneida.
So I like your sign. It says free balls for members of Congress who have lost theirs. I know what that means for my listeners, my audience. What does that mean?
That basically means that I wish they would grow a spine and a set of balls and do their jobs.
Are you
Protect our
surprised
Constitution.
that Republicans in Congress haven't stood up to Trump at all yet?
I am. I really am. I don't know what it's going to take for them to care about their constituents and our country.
do you think it's possible that Epstein files may be enough to get the Republicans to turn on him?
I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that can
What do you
do
guys
that.
think? You know, I mean, coming to protest, do you feel like coming to protest, do you feel that there's a momentum coming on the side of democracy? Do you feel that people are starting to get it? Or what do you think, what's the buzz out there?
I was just at the Erie Boulevard protest in East Syracuse.
Oh,
and
one around.
oh yeah, so there were more people there than I've seen at any of the protests yet, and I've been at most of them.
What
So
did they tell you?
I was heartened by what I saw, definitely. And the traffic that came by on the streets was so supportive, more so than any protest I've seen. Yeah.
There's momentum. I feel like there's momentum. The fact that there are so many in different places, that hopefully that's going to keep
including
propelling.
here in the center of deep red Madison County.
Yeah. It's important because there are people who can't come out and do this because it would be a perfect opportunity for them to get rounded up or targeted. And so we need to stand on the sidewalks here and speak for them.
I'm with a group from Fort Plain. So why are you guys here today?
I'm here today because I just want to remind everybody, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, if you're a Democrat, we're all here for the same thing, the Constitution. We are all the same, and we need to remember the Constitution.
How about you guys?
I'd honestly be embarrassed if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Me too. It's time to do what's right.
Yeah.
And why is this the right thing?
I feel like, honestly, as a woman, I feel like we're slowly going back to 1950, and I really would rather not.
And it's really up to us as people to make a change at the end of the day. So everybody out here, it's really inspiring because this is what we need to do.
We shouldn't be fighting for fundamental rights, to be honest with
Right.
you.
So why are you guys here today?
To protest Trump.
Yeah, like what particular issues are like foremost in your mind?
I just think he's pushing too hard to change everything. I mean,
in what ways?
The government, the federal, everybody. All his puppets are just not acting like professionals. They're just going. I mean, just his recent rants on the people that he's taken to court recently. Let's get him in there. You know that the statute is going to end. I mean, these are our real. You know, I mean, a judge is not going to look at that and go, really.
Have you guys ever been like involved in politics or protest before like Trump came along?
This is actually my first one.
The first one ever? I went to the Occupy Wall Street back in 2011 and 12. I was living in Baltimore at the time. I went to those protests to support the Occupy movement. Since then, this is my first one.
Well, so I want to ask you both. So what was the thing that made you decide to come out to this one?
It's because Trump, like no other president before, conservative or Republican or Democrat, has stirred this much division in the country. And the Trumpers think that he's the best thing since Christ, but really most of us feel like they're in a cult. Basically, MAGA is a cult. It's not just about I'm not that anti-Republican. I'm more anti-MAGA more than anything, because the people follow him around no matter what he says or does. There's literally nothing he could do wrong. And I think that's a scary thing when you're the president, I'm
with Debbie in Herkimer. And Debbie, your sign is very clever. So where did you get that idea from?
I kept seeing the bottom phrase on Facebook, and I thought it was appropriate for today.
One of the things that I've been talking to people about at these protests, especially based on their signs, is really kind of the need for using satire and humor to deal with a time of what's happening to us. Do you agree with that?
I do agree.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why like the Trump administration has gone after like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, and it's like, is humor dangerous to dictators?
I know it's dangerous to Trump. He's so thin-skinned. He can't stand that. And I love it.
So why are you here today?
I'm here because I started really paying attention to politics during the Trump and Clinton debates, and I have followed every day since. And the movies are going to be epic.
The humor is important, first of all, in this day and age because we're living in very difficult times. There's a lot of rights being taken away. There's a lot of things going on, and at this point, it's really important that we at least keep our sense of humor and also be here in force with all these people here, you know, standing up for our rights and what's important in this country right now.
Do you also find at times that humor is powerful? You know, is it telling that Trump directed so much of his censorship efforts against Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert?
Right, exactly. And you know, that's comedy, and he doesn't understand comedy. He takes everything personal, and he goes after those kind of people and stuff. You know, comedy gets us through life, quite frankly, and comedy can also be very pointed. Can make a lot of points, you know, whatever, politically, etc.
And it's about
it's really
speaking
important.
truth to power.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You might want to interview my husband here. He's dressed up nicely too. Come here, Dale.
Dale, you seem to be articulating the No Kings theme here. Can you speak to that? What is today all about?
Well, I think it's about showing up, for one thing. It's about being here to let, particularly the current administration, understand that we're not satisfied with the direction they're trying to push us.
When you say no kings, why is it that you consider, why is it that you regard Trump as a king?
Because he's basically circumventing all of the protections that we have in place. He's ignoring courts. He's feeling as though he can do whatever he wants to do without any repercussions.
When you say that to people, like, do you feel that people are starting to like come around to that, or do you think people are starting beginning to see that too, or?
No, I don't think that I've convinced anybody. I think that people have convinced themselves. They can look and see and make their own decisions. I'm just here to lend a voice, not to convince anybody.
Well, why don't you lend that voice? Give everybody a cheer of no king, and I'll get on camera.
No kings! No kings! No kings! No kings!
There were at least 2,800 people here today. There were protests in Utica, Hamilton, Herkimer, and around the country. At Fort St. Augustine, Rome, I'm Ron Klopfanstein for 95.5 FM, The Heat. This is Ron Klopfanstein. Meet me in the hot seat every Monday at 5 p.m. for Hot Seat Media Mondays on 95.5 FM, The Heat.